Good morrow, godlings. It's early afternoon here. Adjusting the music volume, don't want to overwhelm you. So, a viewer asked me a question about something I mentioned about taking our would-be adversaries and enemies to our sacred space and having a chat with them. Please realize the first thing that has to happen before you can get an outcome different than the one you're experiencing now is you have to change your belief structure about what is possible. You have to change your idea about what is real and what is not real. You have to realize that what you do with your focused attention, intention, and will to imagifest a scenario is as real as what's happening outside. Now, what you want to do is to get it from being an experience in the ethereal, where it is real, into material form. That's all we're doing. It's real. We're just moving it from one level of conscious experience to another. Don't think of it as making the unreal real. There's your dichotomy right there, and you cannot change the outcome if you don't change the belief structure upon which the present outcome is predicated. All right, so first you change your idea about what is possible, what is real. Redefine real. There is no world out there. Everything, it's a mirror out there, and when you try to make changes in the outside world, in some manners, like there are things you can do with the arms of flesh. You can polish your shoes, build a fire, vacuum the floor, etc. But when you're trying to change something substantive, like the overall pattern itself that you're living every day, you have to change your ideas about what is possible and how to go about making that happen. And essentially, the way you go about making that happen is by changing who you are, who you identify as, the story you tell yourself about yourself, so that you become the version of you presently existing in superposition in quantum eminence. You become the version of you that is enjoying the outcome and situation that you desire. Okay, so this really isn't and is magic at the same time, because you are changing the only thing you have control over, so it's not magical in that way, and the only thing you have control over is yourself. So you're changing yourself. You're changing your identification and your identity in so doing. This means you have to change the story you tell yourself about who you are, what you stand for, what your baggage means, etc., etc. All of those things, the types of conversations you're having with yourself that I just mentioned, those things all contribute to your self-image, what you tell yourself you are capable of and what is possible for you. So look there for what you make changes in. Otherwise, if you try and just pursue it outside, in the outside world with the arms of flesh, it's the same thing as trying to clean your face by washing a mirror. You change what's here, and what's out there changes as an echo, a reflection. I've spoken to you about Imagifestation. And in an Imagifestation, I want you to create a triumph scenario in which the challenges, which are really opportunities that presently confront you, have been overcome. Make this implicit in the scenario you choose to construct for yourself. I want a new swimming pool, and I want a significant sweetheart man in my life, a significant other. And so I go in my Imagifestation out to my pool. I know where it is in the yard, and I Imagifest being in that scenario with it projected all around me. It's not difficult to do. I have the yard to imagine it in, right? So I can go sit on my back porch and Imagifest the layout. It's one of the most enjoyable things when you start projecting upon the world the physicality, being the creator that you are, that you want to surround you, how you want to do it. It's beautiful. I love that sort of thing. So you Imagifest it, and by definition, that means it's all around you in this Imagifestation. You're not peering in through a window into this scenario. You are in the scenario. It's all around you. You Imagifest it as vividly as you can in every sensory dimension. What are you seeing? Where are you located in space? What are you seeing? What are you hearing? All right? What are you smelling? What are you tasting? How are you feeling? That's the most important part, because the feeling and your focused attention to it is what changes your electromagnetic field. That electromagnetic field in the ethereal, like attracts like. You can't get to a loving outcome from a hateful position. You have to change into a loving position to get a loving outcome. You have to move. This is not a passive process. You choose this actively. You Imagifest it all around you. You put yourself in the feelings. The feelings change your field. The field around you now, actually the feelings change your chemistry. Your self-talk changes your feelings. The things you say to yourself determine how you feel about yourself and the situation. It really is. The pathology and the blessings are all in the way you, a godling, label the situation. So let's not by all means label the situation horrible, horrific, whatever. Become emotionally unhappy because of our labeling, and then blame the world we created with our labels for making us unhappy, because all of it is our doing. You'll notice I didn't say fault there, because there's no fault ever in it. Fault is a ridiculous and counterproductive concept. It's your doing. And the earth is reflecting back to you the consequences of your perseveration on thoughts that create the frequency that create the experience. So if you change the frequency of your field knowingly, consciously, deciding to choose love, because it's the only thing that makes sense, choosing wisely and consciously, lucidly, realizing, hey, the environment presently, because I helped contribute to it being this way, is not conducive to love, so I have to like that. I have to like that. I have to bring that into the venue experience. I have to be an aperture to that. Okay. This is lucidity, because you're oriented, you're no longer trying to wash the mirror to clean your face. You're changing what you embody, and that embodiment changes your field, and the field makes you a match. It's a key to open the doors, the locks on the doors to the event cascades you want. You can't get into the energetic flow of an event cascade until you tune yourself to that energetic flow. So, because this takes a lot of concentration, commitment, and attention, focused intention and attention, and wielding your will to do all that, I mean, this is an act of will, I suggest you create this triumph scenario in a place that you either know or have wanted to be in, but you see it in dreams or it's just in your heart. It's a place just exactly the way you would have it be, your happy place. All right? Imagifest it as vividly as you can in every dimension. It has to be a place you love because it takes quite a bit of work to do this. Now, it's really worth it because when you start exercising your ability to Imagifest, which involves summoning experiences that you want consciously instead of unconsciously, summoning experiences that you dread, it needs to be a very rewarding experience, this environment, going to this environment and being in this triumph scenario. It has to be something you really enjoy. Otherwise, you're not going to feel reinforced enough to continue doing this work. But there comes a point, I promise you, when you Imagifest your happy place, you've been working to visually see the details one at a time. You can't get them all in your head all at once at first, all right? You've been working hard to smell it and taste it and hear it and feel it. All of that stops being an effort. So you go in on one of your meditations, having fallen asleep doing it and waking up and doing it again. One night you go into bed getting ready to sleep because this is where in theta brainwave state you want to do this work. All right, use binaural beats and noise blocking headphones or earbuds, please. The most important thing is to cut your sensory connection to this world that you believe yourself to be in. All right, so that you can go inward to the universe, which is you, which is vast beyond anything the universe could even imagine. So one night, you'll go in there as usual, put your earbuds on, adjust your situation, get comfortable so that you can get down into theta brainwave state, use binaural beats to help. And you'll get into your Imagifested happy place, and it will be animated all on its own. Things that you never Imagifested, if it works for you the way it works for me, will show up. For instance, in mine, I never Imagifested. The place is a beautiful, calm lagoon area on a beach, and etc. And I never did the Imagifestational work to create storm berms and tide passings, but when this happened to me, I came back in expecting to have to work, and the birds I had worked to make sounds and move around, willing to see it, experience it, hear it, all right, were all self-animated, very, very vivid, okay? A tide berm was on the beach. I hadn't done that work. In the shells, which I had done the work on, and the shells at my feet, my toes were digging into that little berm that forms atop the beach along a wavy line from the last tide change. There'll be shells and algae and stuff. And I'm standing in it, and I look down and I see in among the shells green sea glass, polished. I had not put that there. I did not do that work. So I either have to conclude that I, a godling, breathed enough energy and intention into this that it became attention and intention, and using my will to do that, directed into it, that it became alive from my own life force that I had given it with my attention and intention. All right? So do that work. Now, once you've got the place the way you love it, and you're happy to escape there regularly, mind you, I know this is work. You start taking there people who you seem to be at odds with. That is, you imagine, or Imagifest, I should say, for yourself, seeing them coming down the beach, or leading them onto the beach. Whatever your scenario is, it might not be a beach, it might be a mountain forest for all I know, or a jungle, or I don't know, a mountaintop. You see these people that you individually or as a group, however, and you have a heart-to-heart exchange with them through your humanity and your love, not trying to persuade anybody, not debating with anybody, just accepting everybody, allowing them to be the perspective that they are, and just realizing that they too are extensions of God, of Source, just like you. There's nothing here but God. We are, in fact, the absolute. And what seems impossible to you will, with sufficient reflection, be revealed to you to be entirely possible once you realize that you are the absolute, which is potential itself, possibility itself. When you transcend the body, you find the awareness that observes the body and the life story and the labeling and the mind that attacked their peace. My little bird, chicken man. When you transcend that, you become the awareness. You transcend that. You're the observer, observing the self-talk, etc. Then you become the observer of the observer, which is consciousness itself. If you go further back, you find the I am and nothing beyond that, ... empty. I am, because you are it all. And behind the I am, more fundamental yet, is possibility itself. And this is what we are. We are the stage upon which all of this unfolds. And we are the pop-up stage. Okay? It's all one thing, and that is us. From there, anything is possible. Anything. So mind your self-talk. Don't limit your outcomes by saying to yourself, this is impossible. Choose how you frame situations. This is your power, your godly estate being wielded. Be lucidly present to choose how you label things. And in so choosing, you exert authority over the experience itself. You do not have to confront people face to face in the physical world and try to come to consensus. Worst thing to do. The only consensus you can arrive at is to agree to let each other be, that you wish each other no ill whatsoever. Okay? This is the only consensus. Nobody wants to come to violence. Once the violence starts, nobody wins. Everybody has already lost. So take these people to your sacred place and love them and pray for them. Because the enemy you pray for is converted into no longer enemy, because you open your heart. And when you open your heart, you change your field. And when you change your field, realize we're all part of the same larger field. That is what you're contributing to the field. And your neighbors feel it. On an unconscious level, most of them, they feel it. Presently, I have recently bought Klipsch speakers for outside, and I'm sending 528 hertz, that beautiful music I shared on my Facebook post earlier. 528 hertz opens the heart. Lovely experience. Now, you may have heard me talk before about how I've had lucid dreams all through my life of speaking with political officials, notable political officials. The first one, I was 5 years old. It was just a few days after Jack Kennedy was killed in 1963. I was 5. And for 3 or 4 nights in a row, I met with him out on the street I was not allowed to cross by myself. And he helped me cross the street in lucid dreams, and we walked down the sidewalk hand in hand, talking about how the world was going to change and how one day I would have a larger part to play, although I don't remember. I was only 5. I just remember that he told me the time would come for me to be useful to the world and helpful. And I've dreamt lucidly many times of meeting with George W. Bush, with his father, Herbert Walker Bush. I met with Putin many times and didn't like him at all. And I've met with Donald Trump quite a few times in lucid dreams. And I have to say, for all the ways Trump really annoys me in the world, in the ethereal, I loved him. I loved him very much. I've met with Elon Musk, and I just love Elon Musk. I don't like at all what he's doing in the world. Such a waste of his abilities and talents. But I've met with him several times, and I grieved for him in those dreams and tried to convince him to turn away from his path. George W. Bush was a man who seemed to very much be on trying to do his best, trying to be a good person, trying to be a good president. He seemed to earnestly believe in the things that he was doing as being the best choices. Putin I didn't like because he looked at me with amusement in his eyes and a smirk on his face that said to me that he thought I was just naive when I pled with him in these dreams. And I've been listening to this 528 hertz now music for like a week. And last night, early in the wee hours, I dreamt of Putin again. Like I said, I think I've written about this on Facebook several times, that I didn't like him because of his reaction to me. And when I saw him early this morning in a lucid dream, I loved him. I mean, I had a huge feeling of love for him. And I told him so. And he had always been unflappable. Nothing I had said to him had moved him before. And I told him that I loved him, and I really beamed it at him when I said it. And he was flapped. His eyes grew wide, and he took me into his arms and held me. And then we went for a walk, hand in hand, talking. And I was telling him, you must, agree to peace. You must choose peace. And he was like, no, that's not my role. My role is to push us all to the brink, where we get the ultimate opportunity to choose love. Rescue from the burning building of the world. The only thing that really matters is love. That's the thing you rescue from the building. And the love puts out the fire. The love actually quenches the flames. And he said to me basically, do you think everybody has dreams like this? You're supposed to be delivering this message to the world, to choose love. That all of these tests where your brothers and your neighbors and your sisters and your cousins and your aunties and your uncles and your parents all seem to have lost their mind and to be in an adversarial relationship with you. These are all opportunities for you to choose love, to pray for them, to love them, to beam love at them. Those aren't exactly the words, but that's the gist of what he said to me. And he told me, I've been projecting derisiveness from him because people have marginalized my views most of my life. And so I marginalized the message that I literally returned from the dead in 1978 to deliver, the perspective. And I marginalized my own message. I didn't believe in myself. And we all have to believe in ourselves, in our unique contribution. We all need each other. We need each other here. We need each other in heaven, so to speak. Eternity cannot be complete without every one of us. So we have to get out of this thinking that someone has to convert or die. And instead, we have to just love each other. Because the problem is, as Putin told me, it's a play. The problem is, or the challenge and opportunity is, the actors have forgotten it's just a play. And if we realize that and set all of the roles of the play and all of the arguments that pertain only to the world and remember each other from eternity in our godly estate, and that we all agreed to go through this to push ourselves to the point where it looked impossible and we chose love anyway and rescued that from the burning building of our lives. And that would put out the fire. So I implore you, take your power and use it with love. Wield your will. Focus your attention and intention. Imagifest, thereby making your field a match for the reconciliation we all want. May we all be reconciled. If this video has been helpful to you or has value, please like the video. And tell me, if you're willing, where you're watching from. I still have a very small group of shining fishes that have found my net. But I'd like to know more about you and where you are, because I love you all. You're exactly the reason I came back from the dead in 1978. Nobody revived me. I did it myself, which makes me a revenant. Look that up in your funkin' waggles. I love you all. We love you all. Let's work together, because together we put out the little